Okay, so let's start today.
Oh yeah, that model number Samala Dadi, Ozoyandi, Judith over Mamala, Sardini, Kashidu, but the Sonza, and what did the young Arsudi, Rarusu, Kondo Chak, Deva de Kalitu Boguri, Kam Mundo, Dumur the setup, at Talam Karkarachi Boguri, the new Korea also to Rolling Sonza, Tatela Chem, Dona Chimbuch in the paper de la Pombo de la. Also, Bobby research someone like Tashi Delis.
So Tashdele, everyone, welcome everyone here to Shide. And I can see that some of you are new in our place, so especially welcome for you. And why all of you came here? Why all of us, we are gathered together here today? Because all of us, we want the same, right? What do we want the same? All of us, we want to be happy. We want well-being, pleasant moments. And none of us, we want to suffer bad sensations and so forth, right? So because of this, I'm gonna do a very brief introduction about this topic of what we want and what we don't want. Okay, and since there are some new people, and so I'm just gonna introduce very briefly Shide. Shide in Tibetan means peace of mind. And so this group was started last year in the end of December of 2022 by a group of Geshes, all of graduated Geshes from the south, from South India, from the monastery of South India, and all of them with a deep wish of sharing the good knowledge that they have to everyone else, independent on religious faith or not. And so either through Buddhist approach or also through a psychological and philosophical point of view in a secular ways. Why did I have this aspiration, this wish? Because through Buddhist psychology and philosophical points, they can see how people can be benefited on the way to achieving the well-being in the daily routine, independent on nationality, independent of religious faith, and so forth. And because of this, they created this group just to deliver this big knowledge and to help all of us to find the well-being in our daily routine. This one thing. And how to do this? Through these classes, Dharma classes, or just secular classes. Also, they teach Tibetan language, because some of us, we want to learn Tibetan in order to deepen our knowledge. And also they are also learning foreign languages in order to not be all the time relying in translators, and which all of translators and all the system here is in voluntary basis. And so they are learning other languages in order to, for the future, to speak with foreigners directly in foreign languages. Okay, so everything is on basis on voluntary services and on donations, just like that. Okay, so this is Shide group, and all of you are welcome here.
Yes, also one layer was a young the Kawakashi in the Onjong Dola, and there's a Gomjamni. So Simba there's a logic, Luda Semigat, logic young Richard, Kamakashi in Amazo, Onjong Gomina.
Because our mind now can be a little bit agitated. So before engaging in the proper teaching, let's relax a little bit. Let's do a breath meditation. And so this talkative mind, rest a little bit.
원래서 다들 동보들랑서 단남지 짓는 신신이 저런 소양 무슨 그 아니 주라로 소소 주 라면다 여러와 어디 마이나 소소 주 남지 건축한일라 소하다 그거나 딘데 소하다 바지 당그 무슨 그 양주 딘데 매와이나 원래야 지컬론데 가르레스디가 나타 가서 참말이야 대화자도 고요 손자 나래야고 잔달래야 되어 고요 손자 아주 참마데 대화고 등을 고고 매인 손자 아니 지 참말라 대화 다다다데 등을 매바 용어 쇼 딘디기 제다다니 지 아주 간통셔도 그 딘디 돌아야 더더 잠스 걸래야 지 아주 반스 rol이다 로죠 딘디 지 제인 삼비 그런 상보지 그런 상보자 되어가 있는 춘지된 그 자와 간이 지면은 야구 지은 거 손자 그런 거 담고 야구지.
Okay, before starting, so we set our motivation. And how do we set our motivation? Independent on our religious faith. Doesn't matter if we pray for God, for the God creator, or if we pray for Buddha, whatever. This actually doesn't matter, our belief. But the most important is to set the motivation for whatever we engage, for now, this class of love and compassion, but also by any other activities that we engage. If we set our motivation in the sense of, okay, since all of us, we want the same, be happy, and we want to avoid suffering. So in order to be beneficial for this sense for everyone else, so I'm gonna today start this to listening to these teachings, and with this motivation I listen to this teaching now with this motivation of be beneficial, of be benefit for everyone else in order to then achieve their happiness and avoid their suffering. Okay, if you set up this motivation like that in any mundane and non-mundane activities, your activities will always be virtuous. Okay.
어떤 조개 맞아 저장 양으로 줄비 쇼들 이지 좀 여러 안돼 때때서 제발 쇼 나서 다 담보들라 나서 가르치셔야 요지가 가서 넘버 소양한테 다도니 지와 가시지도 어디 지와 때마 추리니마 가서 톱톱 그러면 레시자위엔 당아서 수우데 레시자 수우데 가르지 잠바다 니지 걸래야 맞서 멋세게 나눠라 다소서 조기 야란이 돈다 지 멋세게 나눠라야 지 간디지 삼로다나 가서 이하요리 어디니 걸래야 지 대제 레시자위 요송자 대지와도 단 추니 레시자잖아.
So to start, yesterday a few days ago, we received a few questions online, and I'm gonna start with one of these questions. And well, all of us, as we said, we want to be happy, and in order to accomplish this happiness, now we are going through the way of thinking, how to transform the way of thinking towards a more compassionate and loving kindness mind, right? A way of thinking. And so how to understand what is this loving and kindness mind, how this really works. So I'm gonna explain a little bit this, because this is related to one of the questions that we received online.
Yeah. That tambotel number to shiguajo jamba tang ninji labdo jamba tang ninji. That jamba is in a carriage arranging tamalea to deon tada atini dember show sambi or tinigo samluchilia jambas.
Okay, so what means love and compassion? What means especially love? Love, in this term, love is a mind or a mental factor, a secondary mind that wishes to see all sentient beings, all living, not just living, all sentient beings to be completely pervaded by happiness and the causes of happiness. And so this deep wish to see all sentient beings with happiness is what we call love.
Yeah. 다 니제 시디간래야 간이 요래 시간 아란신 참마 근데 둥을 타달리 아니 드레버 쇼선비 어디니 그 삼로치리아 니제라고 그래서
And compassion is that way of thinking that wishes from the deep of the heart to see everyone be completely free of any kind of suffering and its causes.
야. 나 이마이나양 너무 가서 참이 신고해지 가려래 지디가나. 잠바당 잠바 첨보. 니제당 니제 첨보. 어디 지 캬브리오가 등 이버 신고.
But of course, we have to understand that there is a difference between love and big love, compassion and big compassion.
야. 언나다 잠바 첨보다 니제 첨보 지디가나 가려래 지디다기 강래야 뭐 나서 대화 텐도 등은 텐도 찍바래. 임바이나야 어묵바드 제 저좀 첨보 차와디 소거 근데 잠바 첨보 니제 첨보지. 돈다.
In the essence, they are the same in the sense of the love and big love. Compassion and big compassion is the same in the sense of the wish to see all sentient beings be pervaded by happiness or be completely free of suffering is the same, right? But when we look which kind of how many objects of visualization, how many people we visualize, this is what creates the difference between the usual and the big love or compassion.
야. 다 가서 지와디나를 가르도 지디가나 아주 몰래야 semje 등원다 트렌도 그 니제도 몰라고 이 치스 되네 대화다 트렌도 그 잠바다 치스 냠내체나 야가요 말베스 준주명어 등근나로라 잠바 몰라 소샹도 니제지라 소샹도 개가레스 지와치고.
And yesterday we received the question like in the seven point cause and effect, like the way the method in order to generate bodhicitta. First, the fourth and fifth step. First, we have to generate love, and then we have to generate compassion. Why is this? Why we have to respect exactly this order?
야. 다 임바이나야 지던 그 전에 대화 텐도 그 잠바다 등원 텐도 그 니제니라야 버림요 말레스. 간사라로 소소고 지금 감당 무발을 두니 다 니제원을 냠내체나 야간도 삼나 니제원을 냠내체 때문에 잠방원을 냠내체 제니 야간도나 대체나 권일라 고림요 말레스.
Actually, either love and compassion, they wish to see all sentient beings to be pervaded by happiness, and they wish to see all sentient beings free of suffering, so love and compassion. Actually, they get along, they go together. They don't have actually, first you give rise to this mind, and after you give rise to this mind. Actually, they don't need to respect exactly this order of arising in our continuum.
다 임바이나야 견드명어 둥근한기 잠바다 다가지 대화 텐도 그 잠바자 말이스 대 이용그 잠바자 이용그 잠바자 딘 손자 이용그 잠바다 니지 첨보니다 견드니 바리 담보 몰래 이용 잠바 니 몰라고 되니 니지 첨보 그 퀄리티니 니지 첨보 끼고.
But the love that we are talking about now here is the pleasant love, is the love that wishes to see, wishes to change our mind, the perception of all sentient beings as being pleasant. And so in order to generate this kind of love, like this kind of pleasant love, how to say like that? So first you generate this pleasant love and then you generate compassion.
베나가로 초도이 바이나 소소가 마가사 지금 밀이야 듣고노 정바이나 셈라 마키바 용도 단다 양 대제 셈바지 다 두가노이 바이나 퀄리티 좋네 야부 좀 쓰나 콜라 강이 좋나 소소 마가사들 강이 국물 좋나 소소 디니 셈라가 가수르게 냥가요 가르체레스 디가 디가 미트 소소가 예도 온거 메인 손자 소소 셈라 로고 메인 손자 콜라 듣고 좋나 가와 야고정나 마가와 그들이 나도 셈라 들리고도 와서 대 파쇼도 예도 마음이 렘바레스.
And why is like that? Why we first have to cultivate this mind of love, of the pleasant love? Because for now, we as beginners, we still, when we recollect, when we remember, or when we see someone that actually agitates a little bit our mind, what we call our enemies, when we recollect our enemies, like we cannot feel love or compassion towards that person immediately, right? Well, on the opposite, if we are recollecting, remembering, or looking at that person that we don't like so much in that moment, and then we see that he or she just perceives something bad or is suffering something, immediately what do you think? He deserved it. It was good. So we cannot perceive, we cannot generate that mind of, oh, let me try to take his suffering and so forth. No, we don't do this. We really recollect him as deserving that suffering. So because of this, we have first to change our way of perceiving, of perception, in the way of seeing everyone as pleasant. And first visualizing the pleasant objects for us.
Yeah. 다 소소가 그 조보 조모라 소비 소소가 아니 딘디가 셈다 녀보스나 디도 어딘디 지려야 강에다 등을 정바이나 소소가 셈려야 빼 소소가 셈려야나요 강에 용도 하스 마키바 용도 하스 어디 가라 점선 가라라 바이나 파쇼 유튜브 소소 유튜브와 인기 유튜브 요송자 콜라 등을 정바이나
Likewise, if we look at some our friends, hello, welcome, and if we look at our friends or recollect people that we like, when we remember someone that we like, or we are looking at someone that we like, and then look at them and see them like suffering, going through some difficulties or problems, immediately we generate that uneasy state of mind, right? Like we don't like to see our beloved suffering. Why? Because we are visualizing those people that we like. We are visualizing those pleasant objects or pleasant people towards us.
그 셈저간디 지임바이나 텔레야 대화용 고군두 등월당 제고두 삼비 소소고 제라 딘디가 삼로 티케발라 아니 파쇼고 셈데 가르자 파쇼고 아니 셈젠데 소소다 셈다 니고치 차고 요리.
For this reason, when we look, remember, or visualize those beloved ones and going through some suffering, and we suffered together, not suffering together, and we don't like to see them suffering together. Why? Because we have this proximity, this emotional proximity, right? So in order to see everyone same, so we have to cultivate the mind that see everyone as near as our beloved ones.
Yeah. So this
is my thoughts for the first question that we received here. And also there is the second instruction second method in order to generate bodhicitta is exchanging oneself and others. And how to exchange oneself and others? What to exchange? Before engaging in the cultivation, the meditation of exchanging self and others, we have to the very first step is equalizing self and others.
Dini kombayena digumdo bena endro dangani chiba ngani chiparezna ta endro kani chembudu na chijudo ya ngani chiba digumdo adeni.
And what means this? Hello, welcome. Yes. And what means equalizing self and others? What means be equal to the other person? Is being equal in the form, in the body, in the way of thinking? How to understand this equalizing self and others? If we think that is equalizing or seeing same in the physical form, for example, Andrew and me cannot be never the same, because look at how big he is and how small is my body. And so it's not in this sense of physical form.
Yeah.
But if I compare my body with the translator's body, so my body is very different. So, but what means equalizing means we are equal in the sense of all of us, we wish the same. What? We wish to be happy and avoid suffering.
로야 베나월 주다는 디나는 미망부도 아니 다 가시 대화도 오케이 가시 등을도 오케이 근데 요래요 말이.
For example, now that we are so many people here, is there anyone that doesn't want happiness and one is really struggling for perceiving some unpleasant moment? Is there someone wishes like that? You?
등을 고근데
You really want to suffer? You really?
대상 말도 수도 수임 바이나야 캐나라 가르고 캐나 가른 도구요서는 상미 날라 대화 고도 등을 고미도 세야데 따가랑 로낭기 용고.
So you see, it's not like that, right? Like naturally, like absolutely natural, that mind of I want to be happy. I mean, I want to just my own well-being, and I want to avoid any bad feelings. It's natural. This mind arises naturally, right?
미성도 마세비 아주 기당다 베나 물 부춘슈 지임바이나야 코 조기 니페틸라 잠니 유데도 가르게 체디 지구요레스나 말라 대화고
And not only us people, not only us human beings, even a very tiny insect, since early morning until nighttime, is always struggling the whole day, doing all the activities in order for what? To have their own pleasant moment.
Yeah. 제가 대인 소다 담보텔라 가르레스 랑신 참마 대완도라 등을문도바
So that's the reason that we are all same in this sense of all of us. We want to be happy and don't want to suffer. In this sense, we have to equalize. Remember that we are all same.
Yeah. That teaches Carres, that indicates some low yagoji, so that same Gananola, Jantar Yagoji, Tepsombaina, Denita, Dashi Jewas.
So after cultivating again and again and being really familiarized with this mind, yes, we are all same in this sense. And after we go to exchange the self and others, self to others.
Oh yeah, that Dashi Jesicala Cherang Nacho,
And exchanging self to others is not that, okay, now you become me and I become you. It's not like that, right?
Yeah. Tauna 가르쳐 고래람나 가르쳐 고래라 빙합소 삼로 당당지 돈이 대신 주로 당고래서.
So it's not like that. So it's not like that. But what you have to change is the way of thinking.
삼로 당당 가르 주로 당고래서 배나가서 당다 버다 아주 가르래서 소소도 배 싸워 전부 배나 디나라 나몽보여 와야 가서 나몽보도 디나니 배나가로 삼나 디나니 나 싸워 치슈스레스 Tindelauria, Inage, Chigena, Pondo General, and Dinani Nasawa Chia the Surelanda, as some Chipari, dear Jolamaya, the same thing the la Carres on Nani, Nasawa Chisho, did someone.
And so what do we have to change, right? Our way of thinking, but which kind of way of thinking? The way of perceiving the I, the self. So here we have many self. Right? We have each of individual is one self. So if we ask yourself, among all of this self, all of this person here, who is the most important for you? Maybe it's oneself, right? So in my case, I look at all of you and I can maybe consider the most important this person here. But maybe I can tell by in my mouth comes, oh, everyone is important and so forth. But it's just until here, right? I just speak with a very superficial voice. But deep in my mind, maybe I have that very strong attachment to the most important person. It's myself.
Yeah. Imagine yang harus ngat sama de su tak di doni su doyan do da yo mari madurwa. Asu ngat sama su doni ni jalan do ji ba na. Dini kan social nga sama de kan pa shani ane nga sama dini pa tawa ina nga sama de chikba chikyan ko za che chung chikba re ma to ni nga de yaga da za che yimba do de ni chabar yo ma pe na dan di kaba de kushi kaba de ni juni ba ane ja zo de ni chin zo da chikna ni to bi ja de pa sha sha ba na so na ni za che shu de kare 자치주 더 가르마레람나 직바레스 고 가르레스 주니 바임바 직바레샤 구시카다 가바임바 직바레샤 조라난 돈바 직바레 된 손사 고소가 나노라 자와치중 요마레 임바이나야 지 대나신 그 배대나신 나도 소야 디니 바디니도 두게 요바이나 자와치중 직바마도 디나라 미가도 양 자와치샤와로 대지 나무시와지 차기요 말레스
We can also use an illustration to see that actually it's true that each and every self, each and every I that I have here is exactly equally important, right? Even though if you consider different like this, but it's equally important. Let's take an illustration. Is putting all of our mobile phone here in this. We display each and every hour's mobile. We put here in this table. And it's going to be like, or I don't know, 20 mobiles here. And actually, all the mobiles are exactly the same. All of them exactly the same in importance and so forth. Non-mobile is more important or less important or more special than the others, right? But sometimes we look at one mobile and we consider more important than the other, but actually it's not, because all the functions and the forms and so forth is exactly the same. Likewise, all of us, like this self, this identity, actually is the same. It's the same importance, even though we don't consider like that.
Yeah. 다 임바이나양 다 가르쳐 고려가 저 삼로 된지로 가르당 고려라 바이나 자와 침보레 삼바데 랑자샤 이나양 니 잡들라 강사 챵바 디 잡을 샤샤나 된디고 다 하고서 자와 침보레 삼바데
샤
데 다가랑 자와 침보레 삼 이나 수즈나 다 강사 챵다 랑리 챵비고 강사도서 자와 침보레 삼바도 오지다 기 침보레 삼바도 오지
So how to start changing this thought, how to start to transforming this very strong attachment to the oneself is, well, the sensation, that mind that perceives the very oneself as very important person, this is a mind, right? Way of thinking. This very mind, you just keep it like that. Okay, just leave it. But then who is the most important? Who is very special, most important? You don't look at yourself. You try to visualize another person and put inside that box of way of thinking. So that this person is very important. Leave that mind. Keep it like that mind. But who is that very important person? You take another person and put, you change with yourself. Okay?
데 자와 침보레 삼도 수자와좀 아시안 자와 침보레 신디 딘디 삼로 다운디 간라 야 라니트 파 이고야노 딘디요 말다 야 가시고 가라 아시안 자와 침보레 신스나 언네 나 가르쳐 버려 야나 가르쳐 버렸다 어 딘디 제나 제고 말레스 인즈무스 제야 자와치 나야 자와 침보 삼나 very good.
So we have that mind that think, oh, it's very important. It's very important. You leave that mind, okay? You keep that mind. It's very important. Who is very important? The other person. The other person. So the mind that perceives someone as being very important is still there. It's not that, oh, so who am I? So there's nobody here. I have to throw it away myself. No. You don't need to feel afraid, be fearful of this. You don't need to do, because that mind of, oh, someone is very important is still there. But then you collect someone else as very important. So the very important mind is always there, but another person is very important. So this is going to be always there.
Yeah. Moni cheva yana harcho jen zawa chimbore samne tik samlo da tang dewa yana shula rani zawa chimbo ranshin ke chanu.
If one cultivates the mind that the other person is very, very important, indirectly oneself becomes very important also.
When also dini yugudo 지금 향기체 더 삼로 당니 아시안라 로바 야고체 데니 데니 임바이나 미들레 가리 임바이나 미샹다 그 렌탕시 쳔보샤기도 미드페 야고 요레스 디간 콜레야 게타이나 텔테니 용구도 코로나 임바이나 디키다 또 사마이 콜로니
If one really considers others very important, so we always engage in help, so that person will help that person, others, and so forth. And so because this person is really always engaging in serving others, so everyone will see that person very good, because it's always helping everyone else, is a good person, and so forth. And so it's going to have a good reputation through benefiting others. Madre Teresa.
Oh, they don't. Tirsani Shigo Deni Baina, Gachi, Zamulinga, La Yishigula Chinkala, La Sobada, Lana Shigo, Consancho, La Sobatu, so Tsama, Mitsama, Mukuchika, Gawochido. Here Gawochi at the Carres, the Kozo, and Na Shimbo Zini, Kozola Gawochi woman. Carres, Kozolaya, Ani, Kozo Page, Mimombo, Chikatonda, La Samlotan. And
we have in our own present times, we have many examples of this. We have here in India, Gandhi, we had Gandhiji, right? And also we had Mother Teresa. And also here in our groups, here, His Holiness Dalai Lama, and so many others great beings. Why they are so well liked, so famous. And everyone wants to be together and learn from them, because it's not because they have a very selfish mind, isn't it? It's because they cultivated that very, very mind and attitude of benefiting everyone else. So thinking on others, benefiting and cultivating that mind of others more important than oneself. So because of this, everyone likes them. It's not because of their selfish mind, right?
Yeah, then Durti Shabaina, Dashin, Jibol Waya, the Carres, the Dunda, Jean de Sunala, Carasungores, Rang Chinzendan, Ashen Yerwer to Lunibote, Corsagia, Samotana, Jibol Waya.
So this is what is written or orientated in the scriptures. The scriptures, they say that what means changing exchanging self and others is exchanging the self-cherishing mind to the others cherishing mind. So this mind is what we have to change, self to others.
Yeah. Dajem Nyambagum, Daje Jivagum, Dindigo Gubatsu Karezi Taki, Yung Chamba, give it tabres. Yung Chamba the Yabochikena, Teledini Nijichimu Tigre, the Yabochikena, Teledini Hassan, Yabochikere, the Jesona, Chanjibu Send, Rangela Tadaji Ketu.
So that's the reason that we have to go through the steps of, first of all, equalizing self with others, then exchanging self to others. Then we give rise to that pleasant love, and then give rise to the big compassion, and then the amazing intention or a complete intention that finally give rise to the final result, that is the mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta.
다 용 잠바 기비 타 치드 가르레스 지금 심전 탐지 소소가 아마임바 삼로당 데니 디그 진 과튼 진 데니 텔라 트렌렌자고 두사비 어디 마시 트렌들라 소바 고미 토니 양 심지 예도고미 용 잠바 기비 타 치 데니 니가 돈다 용 잠바 심젤라미 용 잠바 기비 타 차고.
So one of the methods to cultivate or to give rise to this pleasant love is first of all, understanding that all sentient beings have already been one's mother. Okay, that's the first step. Then the second step is to recollect the kindness of one's own mother. And then third is to, because one recollects the kindness of one's own mother, and since everyone has been already our mother before, and so give rise to the third step, that is giving rise to that wish of repaying and really engaging in repaying that kindness of our mothers. And then after this, then comes the give rise to that love, the pleasant love, the wish to really see all our mothers, sentient beings, completely pervaded by happiness.
No, yeah. That jiwa sombachi kardo sitigala, ane soso go niechi dang dindile da mi pe juba marab dang mi dikya mambo dus. An tin sonza to so la mini, aso nije ketugumundu.
Okay, so this was the second question. The third question that we received online, it was okay, we can see, I can understand and recollect and cultivating compassion and love. It's quite nice, But in this world nowadays, at least here in my environment, I cannot even stand with so many bad people, these very rich or bad people here, that they are completely indifferent towards those poor or those people in the favelas, that they die every day and so forth. How to generate compassion towards them?
Yeah. That Delia and Gariore Sidiganlaya Lamsang Nadangaji Chavi Kansa Le Tambo or the Tambo Soso Tindig Magasa, Yidamo with Simpson Sola Mini Niji Lamsa get to Mares.
Well, first of all, you have to understand that in order to cultivate or to give rise to this compassionable mind, it's not like immediately. It's not easy, and it's not easy just like being a beginner.
Carre Labaina, Soso Yet the Moon, Soso Dala Mini, that on the Tindig Simpson, the cat in the Soso Yet the Moon with Simpsons in the Rito. Yet the Moon with Simpson to Sola Mini, Niji Kivalaya, Niji the Soso Molaya, Gumshi Yabo Jimevaina. And Tindigo Soso Magasa to Solaya Muni Niji Kizade Yungu.
Because if you are not used to, if you don't understand, and we are not used to what means proper compassion, so of course when we see someone unpleasant or not nice to see, or that is engaged in some bad actions, of course we will never feel compassion towards that people.
Oh yeah. That Chochini on Carres, the Galamato, Tinigo Soso Magasaga, a Simpson to Solaya, a Muni Niji Mutubi, a Jumsa Chicarla to Cuyore, the Gana. Not so, or do more reset, could do more than ever short be, do more de Tadachi, Yabo Munzen, Togo Mayan Sonza, do more Chapchuchimato, Munze Shinga Mayan Sonza, Deletini Jan, Soso Magasa to Solaya, and Niji Kito Yomares.
Another reason that we cannot feel compassion towards those that agitate our mind or that we perceive as being bad people is because we don't understand what means suffering. Maybe you understand that in a very surface level what is suffering, but not actually the whole picture of what means this unpleasant or discomfort state of mind.
Yeah. Naya, Saya, and the Togotoni Gangi. That day, Nanshin Soso Garo the Trevi Dummer, Garo Maravi Gangi Juruba, Dindi La Sopa Chilia, and Dummer, dead some lang ones and chi, Dili Pagini, Dummers at the ones and Chishingo Marwa. But Dindi and Sonza, not Dindi Kimbi, Co Pasho Simchi Samalea, Co Chemical Niji Kimotote, Dindi told him, yes, Cabra maybe told.
First of all, we have to understand what is suffering. So suffering is the state that guides us or that impels us towards sickness, towards the process of aging and death, and also that suffering that make us to be separated from what we want and make us keeping meeting all the time situations that we don't like and so forth. And so all of these big this is the big pictures of what means suffering. So if you understand that suffering can be many parts of like this with these characteristics, then we understand how to cultivate the compassionate mind towards our enemies.
Yana didi chilawayna mazu mo chewa diga karre diga Lusur la tembi dungur kyang de dungur yamba monzin che simsur la tembi dungur de dungur yamba monzin che to yoma.
And also sometimes we understand suffering just on basis on physical sensation. Like suffering is just based on physical sensation and not based on mental and emotional sensations, which is not correct.
Pena also that soso chi tindigo gabo mesaga da magasa michi yorwa. The Magasa meet Co Soso Magasa Chaya the Karcheres, Bena Kogo Soso let Sikikan, which Lamni Dig Kimbi, so the Magawa Chabayana. Could Sikia love go at the Karviches in Zoo the Co same truni. Co Conro Wanga Sosola and the Karza Kajetika Laguio Sonza, Corolla Rawa Yomars, Koya Nasajik, Nazo in the same Nasa Wangi, Nazole to Onobaki Ori the Kalaguromoto. Cola Digger same Nasa the Mewayana.
Okay, so let's imagine that there is here in this classroom someone that we don't like. Let's take him as our example. And so don't take person. Okay, let's say that this person is someone that we don't like. Okay, someone, just visualize this, someone that we don't like. Why we don't like him? Not Andrew, someone, okay, that we don't like. And then I'll visualize that we don't like. Why we don't like him? We don't like, because usually he says something that we don't like, or that agitates our mind or offend us and so forth. But why you feel like that? Why do we feel offended by his words? And then he become our enemy. Actually, he's just agitated. He's just confused mentally and emotionally. And then because of his mental confusion, and then he become angry. And out of his anger, then he speaks many words that we don't like or offended and so forth. But actually, he's like without freedom. He involuntarily he's angry and then speak things that we don't like. And then after this, he becomes that person that we don't like. But actually, we don't understand this. If we understand that actually he's involuntarily, like he's sick. He's mental and emotionally sick, because we say that anger is a mental sickness. And so because he's sick mentally and emotionally, so out of his anger, then he speaks things that we don't like.
아니 지금 이 뉴버들이 그 소설의 측득자라 야나 소설의 기관으로 되는 식들이 제바이나 맞아 소소 강 타르타르지니 조사라다니 로샤기 두마도 파 pecho dikjare ngala shini karchi inti lagumdo karez ngaso samlo nana karez nije kola kayo mane ko dini nasad ngasola dini chegore ko kayo mane ko nyoya nasad yo sonza digitoni ngasola de noba dikjore ko ka meduzin de sola ngaso soba guntudo.
Just like when there is a very crazy person, like a mad person, and out of his or her madness, I don't know, just throw some stick on us or stone on us. Like usually we don't become angry, right? We just we try to protect and run away from that person, because we know that he's just a crazy person and does in Tibetan Kanjumanjun like does many crazy things. But why we don't become angry towards that crazy person? Because we understand that, oh, this person will do many random things out of his or her sickness, his or her madness. And then we can be more patient. Usually we don't become angry towards the mad people, right?
Yeah. Control ten meeting by so samlo candidana diguresical. Munition ale co tindiga be dicachaya the coin number sopalatini, king number with Jiki Mumbuju sopalatin, Tandako tindiga dicano chayores. Covitin the Nalanzona, Neam Bijanda Latin Novaki, Tendi Kigres, and Tindiga Samlo Chitan Shavina, Samlo Tancho Tindi Chavina, and so Magas I meet Soleil by Naya, Tezam good.
So likewise, just like this example, that we can endure, or we can be more patient towards those that we know that they are under their craziness and so forth. We can be patient towards them, right? And so when someone is under their madness or their sickness, mental and emotional sickness, like anger and so forth, we have to think, oh, this is just an external condition. This is just a bad conditions. I am the bad conditions towards him. So because I am the bad condition, so he became angry towards me. So I'm just the condition, actually. So I can endure more his or her bad words and so forth. Likewise, likewise, we also, using this reflection, we also have to use this example as, oh, so because of I am just his condition to his anger. Likewise, other people also are just the condition to my own anger. And so, and in that moment, I also become a little bit mad or crazy like that when I am angry towards someone else. And so these two reflections we have to keep in mind and again and again. How did you lie? Yes. Sometimes he lies, you know. Yeah.
Dordi Shawaina Carre City Galangazo, Chisozo Magasala, meaning I need to get to Mudu Sambi, or the niggas Lamsa Simshi 차고야노 드디어 말이스.
Yes, so because sometimes when we are with this enemy or this person that agitates our mind, we don't have to, to feel like sad or just discouraged.
니제 바이나야 소소가 gel에 기비 럼바 고림요 고림. 삼로당 가서 냠내 집이 고림요. 가르레스디 담보 소소라미니 소소 지 등어당 트렌도 그 서로한테 식치무 야 소고. 소소라미니 하고서 소소라미니 소소가 강에다 등을 몸보지 삼로당 또소당 이바다 제고군도 나 띠츠소네 타르고군도 삼 소소 물과소니 소소가 강에야 등을 트렌도도 야고 지금 담보들.
So the very first step is talking about suffering. The very first step is to visualize one's own suffering. So visualize one's own self, and then all the bad experience that one goes through, all the problems that one goes through, and the suffering and unpleasant sensations that one goes through. So this is the very first step.
Yeah, that's also kind of sort of 야고요반도 서로 식침모도 어디니 등을 된도 그 서로한테 식침모지 레벨마 렘바 니바데 가레 소소고 파마당 소소 가보니고 토보토모 드솔라미니 등을 된도데 니버다 로장고레스.
And then after visualizing oneself with all the suffering and generating that deep aspiration of getting rid of that suffering, likewise one goes to the second step, that is to visualize one's father, mother, all the beloved ones, exactly the same, like visualizing their suffering, how they are not happy with that, and how it would be amazing if they can be completely free of these sufferings.
That's so kind of yagoji so gomshite pe dimotendo ko tinigo sewada shikchemoji da choroya boji sozola yagoji chaso da somebody garezi sozo gasaya mayima magasa permissimchi permissimchi to sola mini yang dimotendo ko lo de jango res.
When the second step or second mind become very strong and very stable in one's own continue, then one goes to the third step, that is visualizing someone that is not that beloved and is not that hatred by you, like the neutral people that maybe you don't have so much relationship, and then do exactly the same. Visualize that person oppressed by suffering and wish to generate that wish to get rid of seeing that person free of that suffering.
Yeah, that remember there's some the yabuji pitabuji suzu semla pe sora yopi toni gomshi yabuji tep somebody ani jeni suzu magasagis ji mit sola mini dini dimotando ko sewati gomshi temores.
Okay, this is the third step. And then after these three steps become very stable and very strong and almost naturally arising, and then once change to the fourth step, that is visualizing those that agitate your mind, like our friend that agitate us. So then you visualize exactly that person that agitate us, and then oppressed by suffering, oppressed by so many unpleasant sensations, also generate that strong feeling and genuine feeling of seeing that person free of any suffering.
제가 딘디가 좀봐도 로종도 마소나 건진다들 좀봐도 딘디진 로고를 마도 딘디 좀 봐 마송하지 장바자다 제와 니지자 빼기 침모레다진 디 암초고 짓고 거기 가라야 되는 소소 마가살라 문이 니지 아키마게다디 가라 니지 기위살라 본도들이 식치야 니가요.
So you see that we have to go through these steps, just like classes, right? The first grade, second grade, and so forth. Otherwise, if you don't go to these stages and then really make these stages, this mind very stable in one's own continue. Of course, if we say, okay, compassion is very nice, or love and compassion is very nice, and then one visualize the person that one doesn't like and so forth, of course, like immediately one's generate hatred and so forth, and then compassion will never arise.
Yeah. That indigo somebody so yaboji come somebody 다 담보 소소 데니 소소 가보니고 데니 발미센 데니 다 소소 마가사게 센지 또 삼이 돌아 소소 원이 서로 요비 토니 지 니지 끼토소나 데니 셈제 탐체세야 돼 진이 셈제 탐체라무니 니지 굽세야 돼 정말 나발래고.
So these are the four stages or four steps of the meditation and compassion. First of all, visualizing oneself with all the suffering and problems and so forth, and generating the wish to be free of oneself, of the suffering, and then visualizing those beloved, and then visualizing those neutral towards oneself, and then visualizing the enemies or those that agitate oneself, and really generating the deep wish, deep and stable wish to see all of them free of this suffering. And then just after this goes to the last step, the fifth step of generating the great compassion, that is visualizing everyone, every sentient being, not just humans, but every sentient being be completely free, first oppressed by suffering, and generate the wish of seeing those beings free of suffering.
Yeah. 딘디지마도 영화로서지 니지 싸와 침보레세 하루 대참그 아니 지금 드기요 말해. 배나가서 ABCD도 장바이나 당봉원라 ABCD는 당봉 그래서 니시사드려 와. 어디 ABCD 니시사드려 오지 장고도. 되니 그래서 반서 가서 그 아양다 지지 되니 르미지니 마장니 로고. 대 나신 가서 니지 공비 갑래나요. 고림 대나시 지니 도와이나 아니 피딱보다 야고 차그래. 마도 심전 사말라미니 니제 공고레지가 지금 데네로 지는 심제 다음 저지디 깨되는 거지. 걔나 다 정원이 니제 야고 공고요. 야, 데네 그런 거 막아서 티온. 데라미니 니제 깨요엘라데. 실레데 데지 통문도. 나서 때여다. 야. 심제 다음 저 등와다 저 쇼지디 갈라 깨되니. 당에 이모니 심제 탐제라미니 니제 공토고요사래서 Samtikala michika, ya, tachera magasa ya, dela mini niche kumtudu elamna, tikala gomparni de yungulwa.
So just like learning a new language. And so first one has to go to the ABC, right? To the alphabet. I guess in the English alphabet is like 26 letters, right? So if it's so, one has to go to A, B, C, D until the end, and then slowly learning the words and the alphabet and so forth, right? Not just trying to jump immediately in conversation without even knowing the alphabet. Likewise, in order to generate these nice thoughts or this compassionate mind, one has to go to the stages. But many people, they usually okay, let's do compassion meditation. Or may all sentient beings be free of suffering and all its causes. Yes. Are you meditating on compassion? Yes, I meditate on compassion. Yes, everyone be free of suffering. Okay, so let's take the unpleasant person that the unpleasant person, and then unpleasant. Can you meditate on compassion towards him? I don't feel actually compassion towards him. So it's like that. It's because we just confuse. We don't go through the proper stages.
pen peshabaina amajiga sosogo pude komba japtan lagona tambo ko tambo ni komba tak zidi yawa lagumdo tambo kale le ko lagpala zimya lan thup cham chin kamba ni golte de thup zodi de jiwaina ko digor ani kapche la kale la me ko lagpa jigi komba chi so tinino japto ani kapche la kale tini kale kola komba ja rimi chini lagumdo chi jare ngazo libondela komba japta de rimba tini logo nanshin ngazo sem go jandar de de chi chini dogo.
Just like, the mothers with the little baby, when the baby is not walking, cannot walk yet. So slowly the mother lift up the baby and holds the hands. And then slowly the baby start like, talk, like it's not walking properly, but it's slowly. It's not that immediately the baby will start walking. So the mother is very patient, takes a long time in order to teach the baby how to give the first, second, third steps, third step, and so forth, until that moment that the baby is completely sufficient or secure in order to walk alone. Likewise, if our own body needs this time in order to habituate it and then really have the proper strength to do the movements, likewise, of course, our mind also needs like time and practice and habituation for the to change the way of thinking.
나야. 다더니 너로서 니마레레 그 나로라다 니지 그 곰시드 가니지 땡기 봐. 가니지니 타블럼 가니지네 되니 나가서 니지도 다 야기당 당고 그래서 다기 부주주나 아멜라 바스니까 레레 콤바 잡탄라 나지 너로서 임바이나야 너로서 그 니지도 부주주나시 차대요. 콤바 잡마시기로. 다 콜라 콤바 잡아 나시 그 되니 그 곰시지 가니지니 땡고레스. 당보 대름바 당보들라 가르고 그래. 땅아서 무슨 디가 나로라 소소고 파마리 같은 치요. 대매인 소사 당보들라 소소고 파마. 야나 아니 지금 소소고 다 파마 면조도 다 파마 동산이도 다 되니바이나야 소소 파마라 무 초거래라. 야 지금 아니 딜레 잠바가 여동음이 샘직하니 지바이나 또 솔라미니 곰시 땡고 요레스.
Likewise, like a mother is really patient and goes and leads the baby walking until the process of being completely secure in the walking process. Likewise, we also have to lead ourselves, to guide ourselves in the way of transforming our way of thinking. And how to do this in our daily life? How to start? What do we have to think, or which kind of minds do we have to cultivate in daily basis, in daily routine? First of all, is to recollect the kindness of our own parents. So our own parents, we have to really understand the kindness, how they helped us and so forth. So we have to visualize them. And some people don't have parents, right? And so if someone doesn't have parents or father or mother, so one can visualize someone that was really beloved, is really beloved and really helped us in this life.
나가서도 이번에나 소소래 제나로다 드리오는 남사 제나로 시치면 아마 된지네 남사 아마 제가 카 담보 그래 소소래 제나 시치면 된지 용바이나 남사 아마 된지 라고요 저런서 된지 제나 시치고래 되가나 된지 용고요.
Usually, I don't know about you, but at least in our Tibetan society, we have the habit of when we are completely very afraid. Yes, when we are scared, when we have this very big fear or scared, immediately we shout like "Ama." Ama in Tibetan is mother, right? So immediately we shout like, "Oh, Ama," because we are completely scared of something. I don't know if in your society also you have these habits. Do you have? In Israel, yes. Yes.
Crying out for mother.
Mancha da mindo Israel chick do ani adiang ani latang ida.
People actually do it.
In a mancha mindo.
제가 그때 가르에
Chisenani jiten ko papo chick dura. Oh my god. Jiten ko papora. Jiten ko papo chick latang mampodos. In a amai.
당한 소리는 뭐지야 되래. 아마 질람사 어디 대가르에 지디간라 소소 직된데라 담보 용비까블야 소소 프로포 담보도 수레스나 소소 아마리 담보 가서 아미 조건이마 더니 묵 담보 시디간라 동바 담보 수 동바 통요레스나 아미 동바 통요 문이래다 다가 나신 거 가서 디 카나라야 자마 담보 카르도요레스 아미 오마도 데 람예데 수레 가서 카나라마 루니에도 수레스나 아마 차도.
Yeah, anyway, here in our society, we have this habit. But if you just think properly, in this very lifetime, all of us here, in this very lifetime, where we came from physically, from the wound of our own mother. And then when we were born, who was the first person that we really look at the face? From our mother. And what was the very first food that we had? Food our mother gave from her own body, that was her milk. So she's a really very important for us.
When I was my tambo on the Galea, only tambo station as a shadow to Chiledoya. Shadow tambo, Colea tambo, Sevatini to Suez, Namari, Carres, Sulin, Columbo Shadow, journey, put the region Shadow journey, tambo, Sevatini, Amachadure. Gerala Gulo tambo, Conye de Sure, Amachadure. Gerala and in Roland. kumba jamni rota tambo lamye de sure amachade.
And also like when we are born, newly born, we are just a piece of meat, right? Like like that. It's just a piece of meat. We are useless. We cannot even move. We don't do anything without the help of our mom. So in order to be fed, who feeds us? Our mother. In order to, if we are cold, who protect us from the cold? Our mother. And when we are just newly born, who gives us the tenderness and hugs us and brought us towards her chest is our mother. So really think careful about that.
Yeah. Tagana jinga kajalamki. Kena la kajashin amadi. Amala ani kena jiji tashi delela jiji zini pa tambo kajalamki de suri. Mother.
Correct?
Mother.
Oh. And also really it's good to think about that. Who is the first person that teach us how to be a good kid? Who was the first person who say, hey, you have to greet those people. These people just arrived here. Say tashtele, or say hello, or say thank you. Who was the first person who really gave us this guidance? Our mother.
Yeah. Chazangin di shigwa the one chenang orso di ya samlo tambayina ani di Gyaltsen so mashiba yo mari di imbayina yo the so shigwa the carres the da zu nga so nimari ring na no la niji de gomshi tengo ena da solamini gomshi tambo tengo res diga cheza so amalam so palam o dili jine rembi jine lo jani royena ani so gelaya niji da pitakuch jetu.
Why I'm saying this? Because first, it's true. And if we can really recollect again and again this situation, these pictures, then the very first person that one has to generate this compassion, the love and compassion, is towards our mother. And then after our father, we have to recollect, we have to really feel this strong kindness, the strong kindness that came towards our parents. And then slowly we generate the compassion towards our parents, and then slowly towards everyone else. Otherwise, there's no way of meditating and generating compassion.
Da 저런저런 지와 마소나 지와니 데 가르지 데 단당에 가르지 다 니제데 아니 지금 semje 참말라 미니게 요바지 대시 교송해 송아 어때 넘버 잘해 때문에 니지자데 semje 참말라 미니게 요사르고 삼바도 딘디레 지금 삼로지 코르송다 no 데데 그런 거 대시 교송마도 semje 참말라 미니데 게 요사마레고 삼바도 딘디게 서로지 용부도 야나 알레 직제는 참말라미니 참말라미니 또 탑사레 섬이 서로지래 송세 당보대 저 당보 다 지와 니바데 가르제는 가서 도차 지불랍샤도 도차데 지 다알레 셈제 참말라 고무도 도차자데 미 참말라 미니 깽게 지렌도 깽무도 데 지와 니들.
Okay, now I have two questions for you. I'd like your reply. So the first question is, okay, since now we understand a little bit of how to generate this compassionate mind, so towards our mother. So first the mother, and then our beloved, and then the agitation, the enemies and so forth, and then towards everyone else, right? So seeing like that, looking like that, do you think that it's going to be possible to generate compassion, to generate love and compassion towards everyone, like the whole world of sentient beings? That's the first question. Please reflect. Second, we have the mind of attachment, right? We have the mind of attachment. And then do you think that exactly in the same way, can we feel attached to everyone else, like the whole sentient beings, or not? What do you think? Repeat the first question. First question is, since now we understand, or we went through in a very gross way, but we went through how to generate compassion. So first visualizing our mother, and then all sentient beings, like being recollecting their kindness, and then generating the wish to see them free of suffering. And then we can generate the compassion not just only towards our beloved, but towards everyone else. First question is, do you think it's really going to be possible to feel compassion, love and compassion towards everyone, just like as we feel towards our beloved? This first question. Second question, same. We have someone that we are too attached. We are very attached. Do you think that it's going to be possible to feel this strong attachment towards everyone else, just like we are towards that very beloved person? Two questions. First, you, please.
Yes, I've answered first is I believe so with work. Second question is I don't. The second, I think, no.
Tamchila mine ngaso ani chambata nje kisi pare kia yores ngasam gido. Ine ando chang so simche tamchila mine chak to gimaris. Kitumaris.
Jamba.
What do you think and why?
Kungo somba te no rebe.
I agree with him or not? Yes.
Oh.
I think especially for the first question, in theory, yes. But in reality, how can we develop this compassion for beings we don't even know exist? Like, for example, there's so many kinds of insects in the world I've never seen. I don't know how they look. So for me, it's hard to imagine how I develop compassion for these beings or for the beings in other realms. Like, how do I develop compassion for spirits or hungry ghosts, like beings that I've never encountered in my life? So in theory, yes, I know it can work, but in reality, I don't know how.
And the second question?
Oh no, and we don't even want to try to, because that would be really exhausting.
To be attached towards everyone else, right?
Yeah. That's the very attachment we have.
It's already enough, right? Tua tamputi. Simche tamchela mine ni champata ninje ke yoshare. Ine tatunga tis kienza karechini kienza tsurgidu sena simche tamchela mine. Simche tamchela ngoma shiba kantes simche tamchela ngso ani champata ninje ke yurira. Perna ani buchunchunchuda tame payore. Nga tamani konso kantes tongyores ra konso ki zotra dawo dinanshin ani ha yamena I dag niela la sopa. Nga ha como son anto maño konso lan kantes kare champata ninje ke gires dinga tis kienza du. Ine ang peche Kish insare yine kenza chichu. Shema nipati ani do chasim chetam shalamine ni chagpa yinda in chatu samare karechnisna halewa tanche yosare. Tandanga so simchen kashela mine ngaso chapa shukshempo kegirira. Ngaso tanche. De simchen tanchela mine adin tu samare. Ani aisha tagaran la so danga so tanda ani chakpa mountain that dixos. Dele shema mogos.
Oh, yabo. Money.
Ani chochochig.
Can I ask for a clarification?
Yes.
It's
the
same as connection or
champatan to chaki per carriere. Coca sang marera.
Any Chanda? You
This is just a question and Jeko dictiva yoko. And he lent to Tatsamari Kensinako Chiva Koranga.
Yeah. Tanda Jerang pay. Karela Vaina didn't Deshi Jawakala. Can it get to work? Tagarone. Simjet Samazung Shingame so the Colomini, Niji case in the Karela word. To pay out. Some Yagudu. Chetangi cannot Jimani. Tamshi Kawado Yena. How should the Yinchachi go mare? I was on. Because I continue to share some pigeons. Karina. Nibber the why cushion.
First of all, it's very good the way that you did. That is in the sense of not believing, not just taking for granted anything that you listen, not only from me, but from any other classes and speeches that you go and listen. Please never take for granted anything that the person here is talking to you, is telling to you. You really have to criticize. You really have to check, put into check, right? To put into check, like to ask all the time, just like all of you foreigners, you are all the time like asking questions. You have to keep like that. So first of all, it's very good attitude that she had.
Danda 가르레지 디가나 심지 탐체라 미니 니지 깨와라 인치 민치도 심지 탐체 모시고 그래베스 데 고마레스.
First of all, to clarify you, so when we visualize all sentient beings, we don't need to know all sentient beings.
Penas ami
For example,
부레야 아니 제와페 ngangi ko 콜라킹도 소소가 부부도 나용디 간라 나사지 나송바인 다디 나사디 링조고 페 타리아가 아미 페 아미 셈레야 페 란싱그 페 ngangile고도 그 나사디 링이 버터 타고 니 부부도 니 버터 나사 타고도 제니 코롱고 페 니소고 페 식장니 되니 지도 데 지금 장가 꿀마치니 되니 많이 망한 되니 우도 디그 저 나신 지금 셈지 순대지 도나야 등호텐도 아마 지금 소소 부 나니디 나사트 타고도 삼바 나신가 다 셈지 간디 지 통화이나 대다데 등호다 제어쇼 삼비 삼로 딘디지 기비 소소 망가 소소 길에 게 손바이나 셈지 탐제라 묵지야데 어디 차고르마도 인증문서 무바들라 셈지 참아 봐줘라 딘디 자니 언디디지니 다데고 말해서.
Just like a mother, when a mother sees the baby, her own baby, she has so much deep love towards that baby that she almost cannot stand looking at that baby suffering. She just has naturally that sensation of, I really want to take with my own hands all the suffering from that baby, and I want to protect that baby towards all bad things and so forth. So because out of her love, she's so like naturally give rise to that different sensations of protecting and love, right? So just like the sensation, this very deep and genuine and strong sensation of love and protection that the mother has towards her own baby, one visualize that any sentient beings that it will meet, so that same sensation will exist towards any sentient beings that we'll encounter. So it's like this. This means generating that love towards all sentient beings. Any sentient beings that we'll encounter, will meet, the sensation of deep love, genuine love and protection will exist. It's not necessary to know all sentient beings, like all the object of visualization doesn't need to exist in that proper moment. But in the future, and any time, when any and every sentient beings that one will meet, the sensation of protection and love and compassion will exist. This means visualizing all sentient beings be completely free of suffering and so forth, the great compassion and great love.
Yeah. Tachi yang karare digala 참말은 도착 기투사 말이스 참말은 도착 기와이나 ang아서 당치 사례스 봐. 그래 오늘 전에 당아서 빼 당치 고야를 지고. 그래서 참말라문이 도착 마기와이나 소소근 도착 강 계사들 나가서 빼 도착식 첨부 빼 단다이나 문트니 기대고서 오늘 전에 당아서 당치 고니로 지고리더이나. 그래서 야 딘디 콜라 당치 아무도 컨트롤사야 당 도착 기야라 촌이 당치에 촌이 요마다 가서
The second and the second question that you answered, right, Rika? It was, well, I cannot feel strong attachment towards everyone else. I'd be too exhausted. It's going to be something exhausted. It's true. Actually, we should think like that. We should actually think that, yes, if we are too attached towards those that we are attached, is exhausting. It's something already exhausting. And so if we visualize everyone as being an object of attachment, it's going to be even more exhausting. But actually we say it, but we don't do this. Because if we really are exhausted, we have to reduce this attachment, which we actually are not tired of our attachment. We keep like trying to be closer to the attachment sources.
dordiša vaina karresti ngazo la tangchiandu kale khandu yimba yinaya ngazo jigando cha da kontro da ngarger da thatole ya tangchuni chiandu.
And so actually we are already exhausted, all of us. We are exhausted already. But who is not exhausted? Exhausted is the anger in our continuum, is the attachment in our continuum, is the proud arrogance and envy and jealousy all of these states of mind, they are not exhausted.
야. 다 그런 거 다기 저런 거 제가 가장 뭐디 나눠서 잡을지 시사리 예바이나 근데 도차당 잠바당 니지 저절에 잡을 가려 해서 다디가 지와디가 돌아야 대 지발에 삼이건 트르시로데 간이 지내려고 해서 디가나 배나 잠바당 세와디가 양 가르해서 소소 잠바당 니지 기사가 유르다당 소소 니보다 다 니보 레와 니보소 그래서 도차디가 양 가르 소소 도차 기사가 유르다당 소소 니보데 레와 니보소 그래서 대 코솔에 젤리스 마소나고 레 코니가 레가도 나오도 그래서
And your question about what is the difference between attachment and love?
Connection.
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 Attachment.
No,
It's
compassion and connection.
No, attachment versus connection.
Is it that?
Connection.
Is attachment the same as connection?
Ale, I understood attachment and love. Where's the difference? I translated this and he's explaining this. So it is good. And so attachment and connection, just to be connected to someone else. Ale, kurangi tiyo di chuma so nge kurangi injiri komas. Ani chakpa ducha tan jewa jelamdwa. Kola mine chakpa tan kola ko jewa dwa jelam. O di ke periode base ki chuchus.
Ale
Di champa tan
ati chabur mare chaza kinje ke zuma ke bus
You see how she's a fake translator. Yeah. Tata ninje gomso. Kailangan lang tuputan sa ano o ninje.
ale da koro ko karasa docha kes docha
Attachment ang attachment ang connection di jelwadwa dewa ani penani minni parula di jelwadwa di tang ani chakpa laso pani ke periode pe
ale da chi jena samlo yang di docha ni bertanga solo gogres docha me baina pena zo pobo ni panse garo di goyo baina ko din dewa to chude 가르 체레 도샤가 체송 삼바로 다띵가 좀 몸부질이야 고 상도 당당 제나미도 되게 서로하다 미 몸볼래 식침보요레스.
Well, first of all, many of us, we think that it's important to have attachment. For example, if we want to have boyfriend or girlfriend, if you don't feel attachment towards that person, we'll never be together. And so it's important, it's good and important to feel attachment, or to have attachment towards someone. Many people think like that.
Yeah. 다 임바 있나요? 도차 디가 파쇼달래 데워서라 초치니 팽기요레스 페나서 부모님 데워서비 까블이야 도차가 겜비 군이 콘데와니 보지
But from one point of view, the attachment creates actually that connection towards that object of attachment, or that person that is attached. And so because if there is no attachment, so the connection between these two people will not exist.
Papa de lama tampon chato do ni pa chin jar thati kana selila ko to do o din jar tin do di ni ba de kana rese aso simply can do chate kola ni ba karo rese jar tin ni ba yo rese.
And usually I use one example of the glue. So glue attachment is just like a glue, just like the glue that stick these all of the layers of this wooden table. So the glue is out of the glue, the function of the glue, that all of the layers of this wooden table they stick. And so who creates this stickness is the glue.
Oh yeah. 제가 딘디고 고 파쇼들이야 수준 도착 계산이 유르들라 수준 도바도 판 잔로 된 잔로도 가나미 콜레야 데와 야고서 요선비 가지고 초나한테 용고
Who creates this togetherness or this connection is this glue here, right? Likewise, Carissa?
소송 도차디가 파존 도차 계사들 봐. 소송은 도바도 봐. 자직서. 도바도 쓰고. 도바도 네, 가르서 그런 도차 지리드. 그래도 그래서 디그 전에 가지고 초로와 나눠라 가르서 인도차디가 콜라야 미와 야보수요 산비 초나는 가서 용구요.
Likewise, out of the attachment, and so the attachment creates this sensation, this connection towards that person. Then, because of this, because the function of attachment is to create this connection, is to create this proximity towards the object of attachment. So, because of this, we think we have the sensation that attachment is good to create connection.
가르스가 저거디 인선다 조야가 세다가 나노라 시대체가 버더라 시대체가 선반이 시대체가 버더 세다나는데 잡샤요래 나는 저 디그 지금 차시 야 로카 요바이나 시대체가 영원히가나 영 딜라요니다 내가 요니오나 아니 버더 지 남아서야 페로지던데 먼저 양데 가르사 셈을 마데원도 딘디게 부지 요
나가서 셀창 소길고레다 Just one parenthesis to your question, to your answer, because we get the advertisement of this class, it was from 3 to 4:30, right? And so many of you maybe have other plans and other activities to do after 4:30. So because it's already 4:34, and so if you have something to do, please don't feel like pushy to stay here, and you can just go. But we will continue this class. And maybe we have to change because we always reach after.
Yeah, but when you put 5, it will last until 6.
Thank you. Yes, it's okay. See you.
Is there a definition of attachment?
도착은 체녀의 가르에서 디가나 소소가 강 도차 계서 그 유르텔이야 이도공 세죠. 그러나 이도공이 세죠. 이도공 세리 게위 이도공을 따위 도바지려야. 아니 그 도차.
Attachment means that that desires, that looking upon the pleasant characteristics of that object, super exaggerate that characteristic. So because looking at some quality, a quality or a pleasant characteristic of that object is exaggerate, but not only this, super exaggerate that quality, this wish, this desire means attachment.
그러나서 도차라야 배 공중운용 땅나땅아지 저 간살에는 도차라 배 공중운용와 배 톱되어다. 뒤에서다 그서서 배 봐줘 도차 계속 유르때다 담보 TV 갈래야 셈나간데레고도. 되니 갈래갈래 림비림비 진데텔라 남토고 도도 니지원도 와리제 되니 서서 도바도 telaba jar yana zikloya. Odini chilya docha.
At least people like at least people like me that I already achieve a very high state of analytical meditation in attachment. Why? Because let's take that an example of one object of my attachment. In the very first time that I meet that object of attachment, that I met my object of attachment, it was just one person, and then became a nice person, and then became a very nice person, and then all his or her qualities became so strong because I create that super qualities, and then until a point that attachment arrive in my continuum, and through the force of this attachment, I just like want to stick all the time with that object of attachment.
Yeah,
and continue the answer.
단 소소 가르자 도차디가 파쇼다 반 레와 니보 드니 소고요레 임바이나 도차가 파쇼 레와 니보소야 스위체들에 라바이나 소소 체드 차고요레.
So the function of attachment is to create connection with that person. Clear, okay? But the second characteristic is for whose benefit? For whose benefit? Out of whom is made the need of connection? out of one's own self, is for one's own benefit.
Yeah. 제가 대화 니고 소당의 소소의 체대 인송자 그들이 델레데니 다 가리용그레 스티 배나가서 도착가 되니지니 부부모 판선 되어서 델레데니 다 소소 파쇼도 배 다보 상당도 배 침모지들이 제원데가 콜라 미샹다게 소소 다 도착가 송비 유르델라 미 샴바지가 카바지 땅바이나야 남사 카바 잡대 요르스니 다 배티 버리는 축구시고 쇼르데고야 가르치레스디 코치지는 미샹달레 되어서 나갈란 되어니 보용고 말이 삼니 디그 서로와 되게 돈이 잠디 쇼르도.
This is the very essence or the nature of the essence of this mind of attachment. And so because when we are out of the force of this attachment, we want to not only to stick with the person, but we want to sort of tie that person very close, like we want to control that person and to stick that person just for ourselves. And why this create problems? Because even when that person receives a call, so someone calls that person, immediately who is calling and what's who for who you're looking at or who you're talking to. Why that fear comes? Because it's out of one's own benefit, and so you might have the fear of losing that source of your own desire, wish. So this is the essence, the nature of attachment.
Pena 저런 건 도착가 파쇼들에 리버서 산디 파쇼다 소소니보든 리버서 사디가나 아니 미샹다가 콜레야 까제촌이 시마죠 미샹다 냠도 코기 촌이 리버서 마초와이나 아니 잠불이래 저런이 지부 개장로 하루 때 저런이 개장라서는 기보요 말어야 미기 지도나라 되니 저런이 짬바 마도메 근데 자다가 저런이 파쇼디야 저런을 보모 까제시마죠 아니 podela pomo janda ka kaje macho ani pomodela ya po janda ka kaje macho ina ta pe kalere uni chena pe kalere ina baju de kaje sheba ina duga janyang kun choya kaje shibi chabayo marwa imba ina nga zo be chedan do chaga da do zon sa de kana ha jing ka tambo shuji da do zon de kana ani kole bi janda ka dewa zon ne suzu ka semle konro ki go ya de sugo den do chaga che de ores.
And so, and all the problems come from this exactly sensation. And even, let's say that out of the very strong attachment, one turns the other person very tight and very, like tied the person so close to oneself. And the other person also does the same. And so both of them, they stick together. And then they are completely like alone. You cannot look at her and any other girl or boy or whatever. And you also cannot look. And then they do this deal. Okay, you don't look. And then they are completely like sort of isolated. Like, come on, that to be isolated from like in the whole universe, you're just both of you, like it's not nice. Like you're never be like happy and tranquil. Why? Because all the time you're like agitated, you're like fear and agitated, because this first is not a reality. And second, out of this control, this sensation of control, that so much discussion and fighting and discussion happens.
Yeah. 당한 저건 도착가 따당 도착가 다고 자와 난신지기 토니 아니 계란이 지구마도 잔다 반지지기 질에 되어서 마치고요 바이나 다 계란이 짬바 마도 전 사자 동바 미스가면서 질에 계란이 동바 아니 데이터 그래베
네 도착해서
도착가 따당 난신지나
네
봐 잔다 미잔다 잔다게 부모모 저거 계란이래 되어서 뭐 계란이 따당디가 돈이 되어서 마쳐나 계란이 몸에 lontan 지라 계란이 짬바 되나 기보여 사례베 데이터 사례베.
And if you still think that we can stay alone like this, so if you think that staying alone is good, just imagine, likewise, imagine yourself like completely isolated in the mountain for a long time, isolated in the mountain, completely isolated. Do you really think you are going to be happy like that?
다나시가 가시 변화.
Nga chiapa dena kipudu.
No, we understand, just the mountain.
Ale tsemute.
아니 야 가시 든디도 변화 보드 양나 보모도 있는 지 아니 철로라 뇨제 잡사야나 철로라 든디도 다 커버 다리 단세 저가로 수로봤어요. 빨리. 다 되니 정도 가랑 오늘 전화 다 노자 돈이가 인데요. 니보소 요새 그러다. 이나 파쇼들 때니 가버 때 로산티서 상황을 때니 가버 잡 때니 스모소 되나? 저는 빠르게 근데와 빼 가르는 파쇼도 빼 셈레 쓰는 거 처럼 이게 어디 가나? 저는 근데와 빼 큐르 로샤 그래 봐.
And sometimes also like the two boyfriend and girlfriend. So one of them goes far away, like goes for traveling or just is not at home. And then the other one calls, hey, where are you? Who with whom together? Who are you talking to? So it's so tight. That person that is talking to, like in a certain point, is gonna be, like completely exhausted in the sense of some sensations, like not sensations will arise. And in that moment, like not nice sensations will arise, and it will weak that relationship. It will like weak until the end.
Yeah. 다 제가 되게 소다 아주 노차 되게 하셔던 제가 니보 소야가 아니 지금 초진이 긴도 지가 제가 그 변도로 지 연구요래다. 다 제셔도 가르스는 소소 제가 니보 소야도 소소 체대 임바당 소소배 삼로 구수 도보 지나려야 주샤요 송사 아니 배 부자리 뭐 돈이 가르레지 간라배 미미 버건 제가 스토리하게 긴 수지 차대고.
So it's true that from this point of view that attachment creates relationship, creates a connection. It's true, but for a very short time. But if we say, if you understand that it creates a connection, relationship towards connection towards that person out of one's own benefit, because of it's out of one's own benefit, in long term, this exactly the same attachment that create the connection in the beginning is the proper cause for a very stress and ending, suffering and ending in the end.
Yeah. 오나다 드니 이마이나 당가초 판저 지금 미담이 빠르건 제와 소야르다 아니 고 체킨도 미도하라면 되요레스 도차데 메바소 샤바이는 도바 메바소 고야요 말레스 멤버도 못 치대 니바들야 아니 도차 짱마가 돈이 있으면 미 파셔들은 되어서 고야요 말 단단가서 가서 바비 조시도 가르진 아니 잠바다 닌제자 디 돈이
And so that means that we have to completely, if you don't have attachment at all, so we don't have any connection with anyone else, it's not like that. So we can make connection with people, but not out of attachment. That's the first thing. So you can still do this connection with others. We have to without attachment, we still have the wish to do connections, right? It's like that. Attachment and wish also is different. So you have the wish to connect to others. That's one thing. And the second one, you can make connections. The connections will be, the wish of connection will be always there out of love or out of compassion.
미미 바리건 제와데 아니 도바게 토니야 제와소 디그 칸래야 잠바다 세와게 토니 제와데 조토와이나 다 파쇼도다 소소니 바리건 제와데 하징게 템보이 피타고지 차그레스 가르체레라 온데가나 잠바다 세와세아도 주부도 파쇼라 제와 니고소아도 주 가르 고고 체딘 송상 아니 베 제와데 하징게 타니오지다 기보지 차그레스.
And so we will always have the wish to connect. And not only the wish to connect, but also to, out of our own love and kind, warm heartedness, warm heart, we have this wish to connect with others. But if we have this wish of out of our own love and kind heart, we want to connect. Why? Because out of their benefit. So I want to connect with others for their benefit, to help them. And then this relationship is going to be a genuine and lasting relationship. So this is attachment. Attachment is something a very narrow mind. It's a very narrow mind and No,
Chila ma
Chochiba. Ah,
chila ma to tama
Luneta. Luneta. Keresa.
lo chochiba yanande muyashi wait
Yeah, la tan.
de muyashi kitana su yabu tung du munika kitana yabu tung
Or
cha de chochi kitana shi chosama tatu
so I don't know the one word in Tibetan, so in English, but the meaning is like that. Attachment so is something very narrow and very uptight. Sort of, you're just looking through one perspective, one perspective. Sort of, we are looking just with one eye. If you really want to see better the whole picture, so you look with both eyes, right?
also karina temotana ina re kareta ina munija kitana sewo thongre mukchik kitana sewo shira thongmare.
Just like anything that we look that we are seeing and we look at, we can look better with both eyes, right? So we can look with more broad perspective with both eyes. If we just look with one eye, so we don't have the whole picture.
Yeah. 다가나 지금 뺀나데 이마인 결혼도 따지지나 하고 그래. 소소 너차 제사 지내야 되니 지네 너차 그 원게 따용데 가나 거기 저 탐친이 연대로 장장마도 콜레 교요바 비촌이 통고만 돼. 그 교가리 요메 비촌이 통통만.
And you have your own experience in this. Imagine now, remember someone that you're really too attached to. So you probably, when you remember him or her, you just remember all his and her qualities. It's almost perfect.
오늘 전에 결혼 도시 제사 들려야 교야 요리 그래 연대야 요리 결혼 그 따와나지 연대야 요리 용구 줘라 요초고.
But actually, it's true that person has many qualities, but also has many faults.
다가나 지금 콘도로 이마이나 콜로 초치바레 초치바이마 가르 소소 콘도 사사가 미들려야 초 탐지 나보 나장 다도도 그 교마도 콜라 연대 촌이 통투고 말 그래서 내가 그 콘도도 막 감.
Likewise, when we are angry towards someone, so that person that become us angry, when we look at that person or remember that person, we see that person 100% bad, negative. Of course, is negative because it has all the defeats and all the faults in the universe is upon that person. We cannot see one single quality.
저마다 제와서 되게 촉 삼아려야 돼서 다 탐유 삼로지 차대.
On the other hand, love and compassion can see the whole picture.
대인소다 저랑 지금 미질은 되어서거나 그 촉질했다니 되어서나 되어도 tempo 용그래다 초 미디가 내상 참아든 통이 돈이 미들은 되어서나 야그래스.
So that's a reason that if you really, out of your love and compassion, the genuine love and compassion, you create that relationship or connection. And so you can see the whole picture, the whole reality of that person. And then the relationship is going to be true, is going to be genuine and lasting.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is equal love and compassion to all beings compatible with friendship? Because to me, friendship almost implies that you give more compassion to someone specifically. And there's this expectation with friendship that, you know, this person is special in your life. And if a friend just sees you acting the same to everyone else, then it's like, what is friendship even? What is a relationship even?
Because you see a friendship something special, right?
Friendship is something special versus like if you're in this state of equal
I see.
then does that mean there is no such thing as a friend?
Ane ta chota bodu perna danga tropo tanto moni tropo ni dilam ya tropo ni ane ta karechini ko ngone tropo yaksho sanamidora ngone tropo ke sna da ko ngala mixerera ngone sempre tanyevo chasa demaso sa shemba sem tanyevo dina shina mares ni tropo ngone sem tanyevora ane bye. Yeah, thank you. Ane tropo karechni ko nge tropo yakshore sra ke da danga so dilam haleva ani yapo chasa ani mishemba ki dilam ya mena mishemba ki re dilam da orang so sem haleva tanye porang chagyo maresra dichene ko nge tropo resra ine anche si sem che tam chane janyam da ora Ane danyanda wani tsorna ni kandres jelam yapo ni chopo tan chomo ki jelam yapo kandres kesi pare kasi chena chitan chena ni chopo ni jelam yapo di ane mixe daura simche shembale jelam tis mixe daura
다기 샘제 탐제 냠바레스 디갈랑아 저 대원도라 등월모도 직바레라 오레마도 아니 샘제 사망이 족보임바 직바레스니 되게까지도 쉬고 말다 요 되고한 노래요 말 저런 게 전에 샘제 탐제이 족보레에서 삼로도 동반이다 소소 쓰다 수익 냠되는 제일 약보다 차그레디 이나 단단히 값은 저 샘제 탐제 남드니 냠바지 냠제 냠당다 가르지 대원도라 등월모도가 냠바레스 왔다다한테 대체 그래서
first of all, if you think that all sentient beings are equal, or you have to equalize all sentient beings, means that we have to be friends or best friends of everyone else. This is not the way of thinking, because actually it's not gonna happen. But what we have to understand is when we see everyone same and equal and have the same sensations towards or perception towards everyone else, is in the sense of we are all the same in the sense of wanting happiness and wishing to avoid the suffering. So in this sense, we are all the same. We have to equalize ourselves towards all and everyone else.
Yeah. 내가 임바 있나요? 나로서 멋진 디가 나오노라. 베나 나니 베 도보 하진 그 도보 약보 인라야 돼. 다가랑 디그레스. 가르레스 등아로니 판스 도보 임발라 나니 판스 지기지라야 펜도 몽보 지비 차니 김스 몽보 요레 다 딜라서 비 김스 야네 네컵 돈이 김스 몽보 돈이 나니 판스 도보 니보요. 돼 디그레. 나니 도보 니보요 바이나요? 현다도 솔라야 때 직다당 로카 차고에 되니요. 많이 조건이 보이나 저런 조양나 조양 대장거 나서 지보 마차와도다. 반서 지기지라야 대장거 가요라요가 아니 펜도 반서 용금의 인송자 뭐 딘디가 돈이요. 뭐 로고 임바다 마임비 남샤대야. 내가 전 직된 거 남지가 로고로다 가랑 상로다나 되기요.
But in a conventional way or in a mundane way, of course, we have this friendship or special relationships towards someone and not towards everyone else. Let's say that both of us, and so now Andrew is our friend here, and so we can have this strong, good relationship, like a very honest and true friendship, very strong. Why? Because we mainly the friendship, genuine friendship, is because both of us we mutual help each other, we understand each other, we have this understanding and so forth, and so out of this common point of view and so forth, and then true happy friendship arises. And this is not the case towards everyone else, because in this very lifetime we cannot think exactly the same as everyone else, and everyone else cannot agree with our point of view, and so this is not going to happen. Doesn't mean that so in mundane way we'll have this special relationship with some specific people.
Yeah, 나나서 까마 가지리라. 가서 coffee 추차고라 베제 보고서나 야사로.
Yes, so maybe now for a few minutes, maybe we have some coffee or water. Maybe it's better. What do you think? 아니 디젤라 참샤 야메나 긴티니티.
저도 자 추차고들.
I don't know what is your wish, because it's almost 5. Do you want just to take hot water and then we continue for a few other more minutes, or we just leave? It's up to you.
Or leave.
Or you just leave for today.
Oh no.
So terin samsha ya mena ani coffee tungin so ani gyuntune dena. Oh, nga dringi mi dung gyuntune ding dring.
Ale.
Nga tu yo kemi dus.
내가 또 추소.
It's not that so ngapa.
추소 제바 버드.
If we stay until 8 o'clock, it's fine.
Yeah.
Good. You can sit here.
When it's ready,
Are you fine? Oh, okay.
when
Yeah.
it's ready, I have a question.
지와.
Yes, please.
No. So I don't struggle much with generating compassion feelings for other beings. But what I do struggle with is when I think about samsara and being lucky to be born as a human being, and even luckier to encounter something like Buddhism that can save you from samsara. then I think, well, if I'm trying to help someone in a dangerous situation, one thing that stops me is I think, well, I don't want to risk something bad happening and then I save that person, but I go to the hell realm and I can't come back. I might miss my chance.
Of
So-
saving someone, like of being killed, and then you're killed, and then go to the hell. It's like that.
Yeah, or I get reborn as another human being who never encounters Buddhism, and then I've lost my path.
Ah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't mind putting someone else first, but I worry about the risk of if I die and then I've lost my opportunity for Buddhism.
To study Buddhism because you put another person in front of you.
Yeah. In case I die or something happens,
Mm-hmm.
then I think, well, then I might come back.
Like in the case of I prefer to study Buddhism. I was studying Buddhism. Then I met someone, and then I just give up Buddhism, studying Buddhism to stay with someone else. Like,
You're afraid you're being selfish or something, like by not liking you to do that?
No, okay,
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. Let's say I go out and somebody is attacked and I want to help them because I see them equal to myself. But I fear if I help them
I see.
and then
Okay.
I get
Okay. Now I understand. Okay.
now I've
Okay.
lost my Buddhism because I might come back in another
Less. Ani chitangchena nganta nanchu janga pe tipo do. Ani kabrina ngatsotanda ani kale diljor choke ngatso mitira. Diljor choke chiche. Ani nanchu janga ni ko ka halewa yapodo. Ani ngatsotanda miluten. Ko kaptiraya halewa tachembo tampi compora. Piccola prima possiamo notare. Ani ngape nabe mise dawani chiki figurira. Ani ina yara perna jamba ninje ani gongi ave kabla cirtancenanga simcetancela minenga ani ninje gom tuki gom tu ringala nantamindu ina yang perna ani mini parola ni koso ani gyaring ra yamena ngone gyaring chik ani se masengola ngati sungyuchena chikchena mishemba chedura sungyu chedu chichena nga yang sedogire nga shidogire kirsi nga shena kyo ma chichena yamena miluten kesi pare inang nancho majanga ni miluten kesi pare yangna ni nielo la dro yamena kasaka la dro ni tso ni nancho majanga gi go kap sena mi do da lamka drami da kesi pare ina da dinga tis shigidura kandes kigure kesra ani tamchela mine ni chapata ninje nga namtamindo nga komki ina di tang mishemani ropa chevedice nga shina ani mitse di ko kap shorsona dinga tis gotubidu
다소라 남기가 저 치카르송고레 지데 니제다 잠바 곰바 있나요? 딱 가르쳐봐 있나? 지금 전 아주 춘직된 거 내가 간에서 제바 있나요? 수우데 진득 내가 들래 셔럽지 쪼요 봐 있나? 아니 봐셔도 간이 고 차다 부 이니가 지금 아연서 뭐 보실래 삼로당도 그래서 다나 지금 잠바다 니제로 임바 있나? 잠바다 니제 단냠도 셔럽고 쪼도 요 봐 있나? 그 니제 간이지 잠바 간이지 고 개고도 될래야 되니 펜도 가리가리지도 어디 인터뷰 장성래요. 아니 고 삼로 비타고 당토 봐. 대선도 니버다 아주 잠바 당세와래야. 니버도 셔럽지 쪽 니버도 고요.
When we meditate, when we cultivate our compassion and loving kindness mind. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the
See you. And so when we cultivate this, the mind of love and compassion, we have always to cultivate this together with a wisdom, with a discriminative intellect. Like it's not just like feeling love and compassion and feeling that wish to liberate all sentient beings from suffering. It's not just like that. It has to be together, has to be supported by wisdom. Because if it's not supported by wisdom, by the proper wisdom, then ends up like maybe doing few things that actually is gonna take you out of the way.
야, 근데 소자 페나 다 딘디가 년가 첨부 지금 까블로 소소 디버리를 해봐야나. 다 뭐니 제바이나 다 지금 남쪽에 셰럽 요바인 코니 반스 딘디지니 지금 세 샤바도 소소 세바니 영 so lega chewa ja chea ro su che ro su de na nane jik ten kawle su de na de mi ma la phendo chea de lega ja chibu che thuon de nga chun za bu li ni ma chi la ne wa ina ya ko ki chea yin song za yang so so nam ji lega chea de yo ba na so so yang ti ni ka ma chu ba ji de che go ya de be yang ne ga cha de.
In this case of encountering with a situation that one life is on risk, either oneself or the other person, then one has to think whose life is more beneficial in that moment, like is more of benefit for others in that very moment. If one life is more beneficial because one can engage in more beneficial works in that moment, then one life is more precious than the other life that one is about to save. If it's opposite, same. So if in that moment that one of the two is about to maybe is on risk of life, and so if the other person is much more beneficial towards many other beings in that lifetime, maybe that other life is more precious than one's life.
Tikale sozoji zewa lemni dini jiwa ina yang dini ge ji nyenga shik chimbo mesan o yiba ina kan tu chido gro ba jirwa kuni bari le ro ba ji ta dali le dili yang nyenga shik chimbo yo na nyenga shik chimbo jiba ina so de ze dagi chena yamen ro.
Of course, if one can help that other person in order to get rid of that risk of losing his or her life, of course, one, as much as one can to help is good. But if one's own life is also on very truly risk of life, then one has to check that situation.
Ta dini yang ngaso yang namji yang ji samlo tang ta chila karre sitikana nge ni ji gum pasho simchi benda tanda nangji ge kami the desa dini chila ya soso dini ni ji gum de kala lamsa ko kami ta dingor de so lamsa chi meba chando ya no dini yang kashi samlo tang do mo dini yang de yong yo mare pasho dini simchi de kami nyon de ni ji ba de la mo ni soso ni ji gum de soso go donda zuo de soso go dini samlo de yar jin do soso go samlo de topshik chembo zo twa ina diga zu cheshu de tere ma to nge kola ni ji gum ni ko ga nasa de lamsa meba chando ya do nge kola ni ji gum de kuni bar ge nyogda de lamsa sando ya do dindi ge samlo tamba ina chuni yo.
Then when we are meditating on compassion, when we are cultivating this mind of compassion, doesn't mean that we have to visualize when we are meditating, when we visualize or recollect that person like surprised by suffering and so forth, and I want to take the suffering of that person. You visualize this. I want to take the suffering of the person. That means that almost like with the hands you take out the suffering of the person, and then you save completely that person from his or her suffering. Actually, it's not like that. The point of meditating in compassion means transforming one's own mind, one's own state of mind, in order to, I really want to be ready, to be good, to be strong enough in order to, when I am completely powerful enough, to really save that person. But for now, that if you just think, oh, I'm gonna take her bad sensations or her sufferings and so forth and bring it to me now, this is not it's not real. It's not like that.
Pena sanji chunde de chikar so re sitikana semjin la ya kan dingwa ta kange yong ya ge jike mambo chi re se ti ge jike ndo so ma chudo de chuche ni ma dingwa ge judo so ma chi chya ro de ni yo re be se na de ya yo ma re se ha so dingwa chu ma so chu lo chya na jin jin do da dingwa ge judo so ma de ni jin chu lu ni chu je ni ma chu sha ju ro sa ma so sha ju ro de ni yo re be se na yo ma re se ta de da ge dungor musu nyon de de yo ba na de nga so dir sa ni ji ge chu sha ju da ni zu len sha ya ro da yang san ji jun de ge ji cha ge chu che ma dong ba na ji jin de ba jo ge dungor de zu len sha ya ro da de ni da shi yo re be se na de ya me se ona da de ni ba na de ni san ji jun de za de ko sim ji ge do la san ji ba ma re be sim ji la pen do ji ya che de ko san ji yin se wo re da sim ji ge do ji da men do alam na da sim ji ge do ji da ji yo re se ji Chikarese di kan ta ji muyo ne ta kar yimba semje la lo jong te muyo ne ta ka yimba de semje lo jong te on kan la semje ko muyo ne ta kar yimba de 응보 내서 시 대시소는 샘전도 저라 노르와단 트로와 몸부 용고 말했어. 노트 몸부지 마용을 때니 샘전 강이도 세트. 어딘지 제로조 대야라마도 야 상gel에 샘전 강이 세트. jandayo 말했어.
Even Buddha Shakyamuni, he cannot, we have this saying, we have these verses that even Buddha Shakyamuni, with all his knowledge and deep love, cannot wash the signs, cannot wash the causes for suffering of all sentient beings. Like all sentient beings, we have our causes, the causes and conditions for us to suffer. But even Buddha Shakyamuni could not wash the causes for these sufferings. Likewise, nowadays we have the operation, right? Like we make surgeries. We operate our body in order to take out the cause of our sickness and so forth. But we cannot operate our body in order to take out the cause of our sufferings. It's not like this, right? So then you can ask, but then all of us, we want to become a Buddha or an enlightened person in order to benefit everyone else. It's not like that. Like this is what we strive every day. So it's not beneficial to become a Buddha. Maybe you can ask yourself like that. Yes, there is a benefit, but it's not by washing others' sufferings. It's not like that. There is a benefit, the very big and true benefit of becoming and function of becoming a Buddha is to showing the path. What means showing the path? Is showing how to change the way of thinking, how to change the attitudes towards the life, towards how to think about. And then if one changes the way of perceiving things and thinking, then one also can get rid of one's own causes of one's own suffering. It's like that. So like showing the path, not like taking with the hands sufferings of others. Yeah, I think she took advantage that I went to the toilet and then she spoke more. Good.
I think the problem it gives me is because we're told we're so lucky to be humans and we're even luckier to encounter teachings of Buddha, then it's like, well, that gives me a fear now. What if I ride a motorbike and now I'm thinking, no, if I crash, I've lost my Buddha. You know what I mean? It creates a fear and I don't want to.
Ale, kung amta kegido tanda, karechini sana, amada milu tendi diwa, atachim pomato, milu ten samra mare, tanang atungwene, ani chotu sa, so nancho tanda jashi parida. Ama haliwa tachimpo, dimba sonsa, di geng ngalang amta kegido, karechini amta kegido sana, ngalang lam kalapato, ani mota damne nga shido shisi parida. Mwene, pero la amta kegido.
Te mare karre zanazo chiwa mitawa gombi kali mayina chiki mang sunki nyung sumbi kende soya chiki de do mang sen odini yo sonza yimbayina ya da dini chini ngamsra jini pengyo ma da zu karre zidigala so de langwala ndowi kali na kondo gosa da dini doya tabshi chegul mado ngamsra jini de dewaina 대 팽금도 당문에 밀릴 사 치보지래샤 당한테 덕보야 보지 잡고도스 대고는 띠니 람가래야 누이 갑래 바이나 람가도 저라 디 데이터 쇼산도나 또 저라야 서섭치 람가 누이 갑래나 디 다름사게 가르자데 칼로와도 리라오요 말 디 잡으리다 어딘 소소페 람가 티티를 봐야 온도 어딘에 서섭치
Yes, it's true that some fear comes. It is very true, especially if one's meditating in permanence and death. It's very true because then one comes to be aware of the true and the reality of there are much more conditions to die than to keep alive. And then we reflect in many of this truth, right? But I don't know, creating anxiety and fear actually is not beneficial. Why? Because maybe I can die, so you just stay inside and then you don't leave, and so I mean it's not useful like that. But what you can do is, because you are aware of the preciosity of the precious life that you already have here. And so when you go out, so you just walk with like carefully. Oh, so I walk and do all the activities carefully. Like I just don't do random movements and so forth. And I don't walk in the middle of the street. And especially here in India with these cars that they are a little bit, like too much, then they can bump into us all the time. So you just go like with more care. It's like that, because creating anxiety and fear is not useful for you. Yes, these Indian drivers. Once I went to Dharamsala. I was walking in the corner. And then someone just kicked me. But I was not big hurt. And then when I look at this driver that kicked me, I look at him and then he just ignored me and then he happily just left. And another day that I was coming here to Shide, and again, one driver just kicked me again. It's like that. But I didn't.
Oh, that is
so to meditate on impermanence and death is very useful, but not to create fear, not to create this kind of anxieties, because it is not useful. But why it's very good to meditate in impermanence and death, to understand how to use properly this life. And so how to really take care of this very life. So first of all, to recognize the precious human life that we already have here, just like you said first. Second, so how not to waste our time. How not to waste our time. And what means this? To any activity that you engage, that should be a virtuous and good activity. This is not wasting your time.
Pena ngarso nasa no lo pesha waina pena lo ngama pena nga nasa mombo na yo waina di nasa tso ko nani de sare da tele ya ji minju ji ando de ji chimdo da na ji ga danda pena ngala nasa na shimba nasa tso ta thashi karche gore ji diga mi janda ji ngala ni ji gomni mi nasa tso tando ya ke yo ma da danda ngala nasa na shimba tso tsu karche gore so me ngala tengo 명간을 되니 대 직접답치 되니지 이마에 나가서 니제 공부야 되고 편도치 가려래 니제 공부이나 소소가 삼로 가서 니제 공부고 소소가 삼로도 yar지도니 소소대에 미십대 박벽지 용바이나 디게 년코 소소가 못상대야 십대 박벽 못상지 차는 디 못상데 십대 박벽지 차서는 디게 정말 김치 뜻을해야 파편도 다 디니 진이 갈래 진이 봐 디니 그배 모노도 다가 나신 콜라야 세와식 치리도 아이나 콜로종 다기 나지니 등을 방당다도 소 로종도 마리 제바이나 소소 로종 제와 나지 미산달라 로종 전 마음바 디니 그 강에다 요다 마용말라 맞아 로종 그 돈이 고 가동체야 어디 펜도 요거레스
for example, when we become sick, like I was sick many years ago, and so just meditating in compassion. If you meditate in compassion towards me, like my sickness is not going to be healed, right? Likewise, and now if I meditate on compassion towards others, like I cannot heal other people. I cannot heal their diseases. I cannot treat their disease through my compassion, my meditation on compassion. Clear? Okay. But what happens is when we meditate on compassion is we transform our own mind. We transform ourselves. We become much more much more better human being and more on peace. Like our mind becomes much more peaceful. And if we become more peaceful and more happy, genuinely happy, our surroundings also become more peaceful atmosphere. surrounding. And then they also becoming more happy, genuinely happy and more peaceful beings. They also will reflect in their surroundings. And then slowly, the range of peaceful beings will slowly increase. So like that, this is the proper benefit of meditating on compassion and not taking the proper like suffering of disease and so forth.
Penaro, ngande, tandandi di nanola nasa pe na shikshimuyo nasa mala. Tasani nani bumi yarumuchi sonju kabla yarumuchi liya shuni yarumuchi kuchi ngandi nanola nasa shikshimuchi dosi. Cheranga pe ngala jambata nichi gumi te meba soro chi zindi shuna yarumuchi kara songres. Te nana zu me ngala ju taji jesa song. Te zu membale te songre mato ya ni je gondi cheranga nasa to meba so yoma. Tende so ayoma moni.
And also, let's say that nowadays I have a very big pain in this area. Okay, very big pain in the area of the liver and so forth. It's here and it's very strong. And so the day after tomorrow, His Holiness will teach, right? We'll give the teachings. So I go there and please, His Holiness, meditate on love and compassion towards me and really take out all of this sickness and this very strong pain that I'm feeling now. You not do this, right? His Holiness will never, okay, now I'm meditating on compassion. I'm taking all of your sickness and your pain from your body. You never do this. And not only this, you tell me, you go to the hospital and take your body checked. You do like that. And that's what we have to do. If something is really, there is a sickness, a physical sickness, we have to treat physically. And then we have to go to the hospital and so forth.
Tangi sem kibu mewada semlia yarmuchiranga niji gomdanji labrochi juwaina o tati inde niji de gomsho charande rimba dambo de gomsho wade kongo somba nanshin gege de ji gombaina ni semba makibade tende ko.
Because my body is painful, so His Holiness will never meditate on compassion to take my physical pain. He will tell me to go to hospital. But if I come to His Holiness and say, please, His Holiness, I have a very big disease or pain in my mind, my emotions and so forth, I'm anxious and so forth, and then please meditate or teach me how to meditate to take out these sufferings, these mental emotional sufferings, then His Holiness will say, oh, of course I'm gonna do this. And then His Holiness will tell me, so you, in order to get rid of these your emotional and mental sufferings, so you have to do this, you have to meditate like this, you have to think like that and so forth. Then through his teachings, and then I put into my own practice, then definitely my mental emotional suffering and sickness will be eliminated.
Sanji Jundan Dizia, two Yakala Payat, Semka member Tola, Ko Lojonji, Semka member Yensonza, Kolea, Semga, Nasaga Mendiori. That day Najiga, Yarmuchi no him, Ko Semgum Kasu, Semgum member Yensonza, Kola Semga Nasaga Menda, Dende.
That's why we really consider Buddha Shakyamuni as our main mind doctor or psychologist, because he has the proper medicine and treatment to help us to treat our mind, our mental disease. Likewise, His Holiness also has all the treatments and all the medicines for us to get rid of our own mental diseases.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe it's a little bit too far already. Almost 5:30. Sorry.
아니 ngaron diteso cheranzo yang te pendo dusanna tadangazo gishi 부조 요래 다 gishi 잠바츠 모모요래 상이
상이라는
나니로
알레 게어진 부지기 순조
오마 콜라 상이 나니래 이나 양 cheranzo 펜도 요사레 삼바로이나 원래 양아zo 상이 본다야 게르시엔도 딘디처럼서 고나
딩몰라
상이 야나 여러분이 소주 차르는 거 저양 게시엔진다 공다 초바제나
두차라 주수 송바네 nga papatus
말에 주수때데 소행해서
Alenga pane
번나가자로 디칼 다 기시 분석 송 제바이나
Yeah, Pedro.
베드로 그줄 톰나
Good.
양아서 반서 롤리친 여러분이 드니지 송송 대가래 드니지 송송 드니 가래 드니 아주 요 롤링 소나 양 나야 용거나 야 내가 맨날 스포되고요나 야 용초그래 아주 기시 분석이 베드로 그 교수로 가지는 근데 저런 소리 너미요나 야 펜도 요바에 펜도 요사레 삼나 그래서 니마 아니 지라 얘나 니마 담보 소디디 공다 아니 니마들 양디 공다 어디서 나서 그러니
Well, now I think it's a little bit too long. Maybe you're exhausted, and so today we leave for now, okay? And so I think when is his honest teachings? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday. So 2 days. And so if you think, so now is a question for you, if you think it's going to be beneficial for you to either doing sort of an introduction of his honest teachings, and so we can gather together here like 1 day before the teaching, or if you prefer, we can sort of Tuesday and Wednesday. And so Tuesday morning is his honest teachings, then we can gather here together nighttime, evening time, afternoon, in order to do sort of a review of the morning teaching. And yes, either like Tuesday and Wednesday both, or just Tuesday or just Wednesday. And then I don't know. It's up to you. If you think, because we have here many Geshes, especially Geshe Punsok, Geshe Sogan, Geshe Japten, also they have English, and also even if they don't speak in English directly with you, Pedro also can help to translate, and also Andrew. So all of you together, you can come together to do these questions and answers about the teachings. I don't know. I'm just offering the possibility. It's up to you. What do you think? If you wish to, we can organize.
These teachings tend to be like beginner level, or they're quite advanced.
Now, tandani sunjudira konsajogi sunjudira ni letan pogi sunjure yamena be. It's very the teachings is very advanced, but it's good.
I would love.
But it's good to go. But it's good to go. But
다람살라 저런 좀 로소 몸보다 깔래 점이 다람살라 랩사라와 이나지 너니나
But since you're here in Dharamsala and you spend so much time and effort and so forth and money to come to India and Dharamsala, if you are now in Dharamsala, I think it's very good to go to his honest teachings to listen what he has to say.
I would love to have a commentary afterwards. This is what they heard, what they thought about it.
Like on Wednesday, it would be 2 days.
Like Tuesday, Wednesday, we could both say, yes,
Wednesday.
And what time? What time?
You can
So and then Geshe also said that because we have many Geshes, so I work in the library until 5 o'clock, and so maybe I cannot. If I can come, I will come after 5. Otherwise, you can gather together with Geshe Punsok and the other Geshes. And you have to translate. I cannot leave the nunnery, no. And so it's like that. And if you have the wish, what time? So you discuss. The Andrew Sonda. Ngado payo skunzo tayalira. Ngado payo so the gela de so Geshe na de so ge terin so kare so de ngazo ge tiwa tilen sama in pache. Konsotis turtu latuna. Ani kirang mune yukese yo Mariani la kurtu kire
I think something like 2 o'clock maybe, because the teaching's about 10 that finishes, right? And then lunch.
I think 2 is a little bit early because everyone is going to be exhausted.
Oh, really?
Yes.
저런 저 가서
If some of you, if you are not in the WhatsApp group, if you want to be added, you just leave your WhatsApp and you add, and then we can discuss time and so forth. But we can decide now because it's after 2 days. Yeah.
나 가수님이 야용나 나 주종한테 제가 왔는데 정말
Okay, I'm gonna say.
기시 분석이었는데 배요
Okay. After teachings, you go to Shita on Wednesday, after the teachings. On Tuesday, during Tushita, during the Sunday teachings.
Yeah, because
After the
it was
first.
like after his motiveness, so after it was going to be the teachers and we shall book before.
Okay.
That they said, okay, this is like not common, but we just keep the
They'll make it
day.
work.
Okay. So you go on Tuesday to Tushita. So you want also preparation tomorrow. So if it's possible, preparation tomorrow and a review after. The console cache cacherà stare per the manager Tushita. Ani Tushita tinda sami makorani gochu gire. Naso concentration show you to summary. Naso you to summary Tushita tinda yuresa. Ani dicene che si sani yang tinda zotuna. Sani naso simon protagoni tinda zotuna naso yungi. Sami mane naso yungi marine anche so ni kerjo sila miduda. Dicela yang sicurezza.
Yeah. That's the also so one.
Okay.
가족 union.
Oh, I don't know.
가족 union이라
Uh-huh.
그 초반 알라샤네 되는 아주 20%도 거기서 고들 가시.
Well, so okay, let's do like that. You leave your WhatsApp here if it's possible, and then we discuss tonight with all the Geshes and translator and so forth. And then we, if it's okay, what time we meet here in this very easy find place, easy place to find here, and then we meet tomorrow and the day after and so forth. But we communicate on WhatsApp and we send advertisement.
How do
Okay?
we review the WhatsApp?
We finish first and then we.
Does it mean no Lamdon?
Huh?
Does it mean we don't have Lamdon?
And then we discuss all together. Thank you. In Tibetan, Tukchenang. Thank you. Danny, Tsering, Georgie, bye, thank you. You also come tomorrow and the day after if you have. Bye. Yes, okay.
Bye.
Bye, ciao. Bom dia, Jorge.
Ciao.
Bom te ver. Tukchenang.